I bet you are here because you love scale models. But what would you say if I told you that scale models lie to you? Oh, they do. See, this is the clear light cover at the wingtip of a real Corsair. And here it is on the model. That doesn't look clear. Okay. What do the instructions say to do about it? Paint it green? I am not going to sugarcoat this. Sometimes your scale models lie to you. I know, it's disappointing. So I'm going to do two things to make this right. First, I'm going to show you an easy tip to make yourself a beauty of a crystal clear light cover. And then I'm going to give away this awesome FW190 air freshener to one lucky winner. And man, is this thing ever sweet. Know something? I love making models. It relaxes me. It helps me reset. Making models is a great creative outlet. You could even say that model making is wholesome. Aside from those few exceptions. But scale modeling offers us a form of social contract. If we follow the instructions, we'll be rewarded with a few hours of relaxation, a nice replica, and a sense of accomplishment. But sometimes those instructions steer us in the wrong direction. If we follow them, we'll end up with something less accurate. Like these wingtip lights on the Corsair. The real thing has a green or a red bulb inside a clear cover. Actually, this isn't unique to the Corsair. It seems like clear covers were all the rage on some planes like the Beaufighter, the Mosquito, the Hurricane, Thunderbolt, Typhoon, Hellcat, and others. Now, if I were to follow the instructions on this here Corsair kit, I'd end up with corners painted in green. And that just doesn't look right. And let's say I take this up a notch with some chrome and then some clear green paint. Sure, it's a little better. But baby, that ain't clear. And it just looks funny. Now, I used to go about making clear covers the old-fashioned way, which is finding a big old chunk of clear sprue, drilling in a bulb, gluing it to the wing, and carefully, very carefully, filing and sanding it down. And yeah, it worked, and I did it for years. But I've got a way better way to do this now, and it's incredibly easy. So, let's get rid of this molded on light cover and clean it up with a scalpel. Once that is done, we need to make a green bulb. Well, we also need to make a red one for the other side, but let's just stick with the green one for now. I'm going to make mine out of this evergreen rod. This one is the 0.02 size. And I'm going to sand down the end of the rod into the shape of a bulb. And there we go. That's a bulby shape that's close enough. Then I get some clear green paint and I make my wee little bulb. There we go. Perfect. Next, I drill out the socket for the bulb. Now, you don't have to go real deep there, just enough for it to plug in and stay put. A few millimeters at most. Next is to paint up the airframe. Now, every airplane is going to be different, so you'll have to check your photo references. Some are chrome, some are the top color. In this case, I'm painting the area in glossy blue. It has to be painted now because in the next few minutes, it's going to be impossible to paint there. Add some glue to the bulb, slip it in, and there you go. The bulb is looking good. Now for the fun part. I bought the UV Curable resin kit at that place I always end up buying from because I don't know where else to buy something. And I guess Amazon has a ton of these UV resin kits because it got here in a hurry. The kit was a nice one with the UV light, the silicone mat, a cup, and some applicators. And if you're only going to use this for scale model light covers, well, one bottle is a lifetime supply. As you can see, I dripped out way too much of this stuff into the silicone cup. But then I just add it onto the bulb, being careful not to smear it over the end of the wing. I put on just enough so that it stays put but doesn't drip off as it cures. Then I bring out the UV light and shine it for a couple minutes. As you can see, the resin is cured, and then I can pile more resin on there. And then I cure that for a few minutes. And then I finish with one more application and one more round of curing. The result is a very clear and bulbous light cover. To shape and polish this thing, start out with a file to cut down the material quickly. You'll want to avoid scratching the plastic on the wing and making more work for yourself. So after getting it reasonably close, switch out the file for the sanding stick and sand down the rest of the way to the surface. The sanding stick can also be used to shape the outer edge to match the curve of the wing. At this point, there's a cloudy but a nicely shaped light cover. The only thing left to do is to use the nail polisher to buff this thing clear. I got this one at Walmart years ago, but I've seen them at the dollar store, and yes, I'm sure you can also get them at the store where you buy things because you don't know where else to buy them. To use this, you just start with the 4th grit and you work your way up to lucky number 7. Each time you move to the next grit, just sand in a perpendicular direction. This will take care of all of the scratches. Since the light cover is rather small, this process goes pretty quickly. You'll know that you're done on the 7th step when you hear the polisher squeak across the plastic. And there we go. For less than 30 minutes of time, you can get clear light covers over light bulbs, and they'll look just right when you paint up the rest of the model. But no matter what, they're going to look far better than with some green paint. I hope the clear light cover tip cheered you up some, but I want to make one of you just a little bit happier. I'm giving away one of these awesome Warbird air fresheners by random draw. My friends at SZSLSS are now offering these as well as noses for P40s, P47s, and even Mustangs. I have a link to their store in the video description. To enter the draw, all you have to do is comment below. Comment or ask anything. What'd you think of the video? Has your model ever lied to you? How do you make your models more accurate? Be creative. The contest is open to everyone who has an address, and I'll close the draw and draw the winner on April 24th, 2026. Thanks so much for all of your likes and all of your comments. I really appreciate your support. As always, keep building, keep experimenting, and keep taking risks. It's what makes this hobby so much fun. Good luck on the contest. Bye for now.